Hey, family. My name is Katya Joseph. I'm so excited that I have the next few minutes to share with you really awesome information that I believe can benefit you, your family, your friends, the community that you are a part of. And just so that you guys know a little bit about me, I am an artist, an activist, founder of K4Kreative Inc. And what we do is we provide educational resources, products, services to better the community at large. And constantly, I'm always keeping an eye out for other companies that mission lines up with ours. And I want to share one of them with you right now. That company is LegalShield. I partnered with them a few years ago because what they're doing is providing access to people regardless of their background, regardless of their income. And I absolutely believe in the services that they're providing. And so I want to talk to you guys for the next few minutes about your protection, about your freedom, about your voice, getting your voice back. We live in a world, in a society where we literally give equality based on your income. You can only receive as much justice as you can afford. And I'm so grateful that I was introduced to LegalShield and the work that they're doing because they're putting the power back into the people's hands. Think about the society that we live in right now. We live in what's called a gig economy. We appreciate disruptive innovation. What exactly does that mean? If you remember the way that we used to shop at malls, or the way that we used to listen to our music on CDs and on cassettes, and the list goes on, I'm sure you would agree we have clearly adapted, updated with the times. Amazon, right, is like the new world order. We do not go out if we don't have to. We listen to our music online. We have Spotify. Think about Blockbuster, and now we have Netflix. We appreciate simplicity. We appreciate having easy access and affordable access to things that matter to us. But family, when it comes to the justice system, again, in the world that we're living in, well, for way too long, we've been priced out of it. Now, for a moment, I want you not only to think about yourself, I'm going to ask you to think about anybody in your life that you care about. Maybe this is a spouse, children, maybe this is a best friend or cousins or co-workers. And I would ask for you just to open up your mind and think about them as I break down why this is so important and why we need to know honestly that this resource even exists. What LegalShield is doing is that they're saying, hey, regardless of what you look like, regardless of your background, regardless of income, we want to make sure that you have access to your rights in real time. Family, we live in a litigious society. Everything that we do is legal, regardless of whether we recognize it or not. And so I was grateful when I learned about LegalShield and what they're doing, because on average, it takes 2 days of work for a person to pay for 1 hour of an attorney's time. And I'm not saying attorneys are bad. They go to school for a long time to know what they know. I honor attorneys. I respect them. But we want to make sure that everyone has the same access that the wealthiest in our country had to the justice system. And so the vision of the company is simple. It's to build a better world where access to justice and security is available to you regardless of your gender, your orientation, education, and the list goes on. And so what does that look like in real time? Well, the company's been around for almost 50 years, and what they do is they contract the best attorneys throughout the entire nation, throughout all of North America, and we even have a branch in the UK now, and say, hey, what would it look like if you were able to speak to, this person in Texas that has a question about their job and severance packages, and this person in Quebec who just wants to figure out what their rights are in regards to their kids and vaccinations, and the list goes on. Family, for too long, we've been relying on Google, and Google is not a research engine. It is a search engine. So don't only take my word for it. Forbes has mentioned LegalShield. Yahoo Finance, the company has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We're protecting over 4 million lives. The question is whether or not you want in, whether or not you and your family members are worth it. So don't only think about you, think about your neighbor, think about your coworker for just a moment and take your own tally, okay? Have you ever felt that you were treated unfairly, overcharged? Or let me put it to you this way. Have you ever said, let me speak to your manager before, let me speak to your supervisor, right? Anything along those lines. Have you ever signed a contract or a document, whether it was for a cell phone or for a car, or even the terms and policy box when you went to the new website. All of those are contracts, believe it or not. Have you ever had any sort of real estate transaction? We all live somewhere. Maybe you're renting, maybe you're owning, maybe you're looking to refinance. These are all really important matters that are hitting the everyday person. Have you ever gotten a moving violation? For all of my drivers, maybe you have a spouse that drives like a teenager, you got a teenage driver, or maybe you're the one that's driving like a teenager. Okay, I'm guilty. I've gotten plenty of tickets. So this is a judgment-free zone. But I really just want for us to open up the lid, because for so long, because we've been priced out of the justice system, we moved away from it. We hide from it. We automatically assume it has no place in our lives, and we've been bamboozled, and we're paying the price for it. And so let me give you guys the bird's eye view. This app means that you get to tap, call, and have equal access to unlimited personal legal advice. I have seen our attorneys help folks through foreclosures, and I mean like helping them keep their homes. I've seen them answer questions about unlawful unemployment, being let go from their jobs and what steps they need to take, being taken advantage of from their healthcare companies and health insurance companies and things along those lines. We run the full gamut because all of our law firms practice all 28 major areas of law. So what was the last question you had? What's the last thing you went to Google for? What's the last thing you asked your best friend and hope they had an answer for you, and you guessed at it and pray that it worked out in your favor? These are the questions that the wealthiest in our country are speaking to their attorney about. They don't make decisions without consultation. And now we get to have the same access. Let's really paint the picture here so that you guys fully understand. That last time that you felt you were being taken advantage of, family, I call into our law firms about everything. I called in when I had purchased plane tickets, and unfortunately, I did not purchase the right flights. I went online to cancel one. I did not understand their cancellation policies. I'm sure some of you guys can understand that. And so when I called into the company, they let me know they were going to charge me $75 to cancel my flight. And it had only been a few hours. I was blown away. I argued. I'm going to be fully transparent with you. And finally, I said, you know what? I'm going to call my attorney. I'll call you back. And my only question was, hey, is this fee that they're charging me legitimate? That's what I wanted to know. That moment in time where you felt you were being taken advantage of and you wish you had an answer. Family, here is your answer. Here is your GPS. And so that was one of many moments for me. The attorneys were actually able to let me know that the company was overcharging me. And so I was able to keep that money in my pocket. What would it look like, for the big stuff and the small stuff, from trivial to traumatic? Now you have someone to hold your hand and to give you the appropriate answer. Whether you like it or not, at least now you get to know. And then there are going to be times where you need more than just an answer. You need action. You need assistance. Our attorneys will even write letters and make phone calls on our behalf, right? Whenever it's appropriate, whenever it's going to make a difference. And that's included with this plan and with this service. And just so that you're not confused and trying to figure out, right, am I going to pull the veil? Family, this is $24.95. I'm not making that up. That is the case. You are grandfathered in. And so $24.95. $300 for the entire year, when attorneys easily cost $300 and more for an hour. Okay. And so the letters and phone calls are included. Contracts and documents being reviewed. That lease agreement, the contract you signed for your car, even your cell phone. Family, we're signing our life away. What the big print gives us, the small print takes it away. And for all of my folks in Black and Brown communities, we're taken advantage of in so many different places. Our mortgage rates are higher and all kinds of different things. And we don't even realize it when it's happening in real time. But now, not only can you know, but you have someone that's going to speak for you, that's going to look over the paperwork on your behalf. My best friend saved $500 because there was a difference between her lease and her welcome letter. She sent it in. She would not have known. And the attorneys were able to say, hey, as per North Carolina state law, you don't have to pay this additional amount that's on this letter. That's powerful. We're keeping more money in people's pockets than they're spending with this actual plan and with this service. What about IRS audit assistance? I thought that this was a wealthy person problem. Fun fact, family, it's not. The IRS will come for anybody, and guess what? They'll come for those that don't have, right, the money for protection a lot faster, sooner, and they don't have any guilt about it. So now you get to have an attorney that's going to be there with you, show up with you, give you access, answer those questions, and make sure you're not being taken advantage of when those situations and interviews are happening. In addition to that, even civil child defense hours are included with this service and with this plan, which means that in USA, right, for example, you sue anyone, when you're the butt of the joke, you're also going to be protected. Your child hits another child in the playground and that parent comes after you. What do? Well, family, now you tap on your app. Or a neighbor trips on, the sidewalk in front of your house and they come after you. What do? Now you get to tap on your app. We joke about it that the quickest way to get wealthy in America is to sue someone, except it's true. And if and when it happens to you, you don't have to freak out. I call this button peace of mind. Family domestic services, on top of everything I just shared with you, family, is fully included after 90 days. They literally bulked it in and said, listen, we got you covered there as well. Our attorneys are gonna draw up the paperwork for uncontested divorce, uncontested adoption, the list goes on, completely covered after 90 days. We're saving families easy $1,000, $2,000 just on paperwork because the attorneys are not charging you for filing. Where has this been, right, for years? Well, guess what? It's just meant somebody like me took too long in getting this resource to you. But now that I know, and we're changing that. And then your contracts, your documents, we wanted this to be as easy as possible. You can download them directly on your app and send it in electronically to the law firm. Now, for all of the drivers that are on here, future drivers, maybe, you have kids that you're responsible for that are driving. Moving violations are also included, which means that you can take a picture of the ticket, send it in to the law firm. They're going to consult with you and they're going to say, hey, it's worth fighting, it's not. And if it is, they'll even go to court, fight your ticket on your behalf. You don't have to be there. And they're just going to simply call you and say, hey, this is the outcome. We have an 8 out of 10 success rate. Our first focus is to eliminate or reduce the points, because we all know when points get added to your license, insurance goes up, and nobody likes to play that game. And so that's our number one focus, to make sure that we can get rid of those points if possible. And then my favorite portion of this service and this plan, I'm a huge advocate for equality and equity, especially in Black and Brown communities. And so this was a no-brainer for me. 24/7 emergency access to your rights. To know that you can have an attorney on the phone with you on behalf of your spouse or your children if they're ever in a scenario where they feel like their rights are being threatened. Let's have an honest conversation about policing in the US especially. We've seen so many videos in the last few years of people being brutalized by officers. And this is not me saying that law enforcement is bad, but we all know that there are bad cops, right? There are bad apples in the bunch. And when it happens to you or somebody that you know, this is not the time to try to find out or get representation. Knowing your rights is not enough. Having access to your rights is what makes the difference. I know for a fact that this is helping our parents have peace of mind when they're sending their kids out, or they have kids in college and they're out of their sight. They may not be able to call mom or dad if they get pulled over, but guess what? They can have their attorney on the line in real time to speak for them, to change the atmosphere, to level the playing field, because now you have somebody of authority speaking to somebody else of authority. You will never find me without this on my phone. And I pray that the same that it's the same for you and for your kids or for the people in your community, because why wouldn't you protect the people that you love once you find out there's a resource available for you to do just that? Now, estate planning is also really huge important because we don't talk about it enough. 5 out of 10 Americans don't have their will done. It's 7 out of 10 minorities. And I don't want for you to feel bad about it, because I was right in that 7 out of 10 before I had access to this resource. I saw throughout my entire life what it looked like when a family member, a loved one, passed away without preparing the proper way, and the detriment that ensues, because family members now not only become event planners, but they also have to become lawyers, and they're maybe going to court for 2, 3, and 5 years to settle your estate. No more. We're getting rid of all of the myths that we had to either be, wealthy or of a certain ethnicity or race to protect the people that we love. Family, you matter. This is your love letter to your family, and it's included. So you don't have to drop $500 or $1,000. Get your will, your living will, and your power of attorney all done by becoming a LegalShield member. And then anything that falls outside of the normal plan, we just make sure that you're never going to have to pay full price for an attorney ever again. Even contingency cases, right? The slip trip, bust your lip, those scenarios are also included with our service and with our plan. And so this is for the entire household. You as a member, if you're single, guess what? You're protected. But if you have a spouse or domestic partner, they're also going to be protected. Children up to the age of 26, as long as they're dependents, right? Or, maybe students living at home, they're also going to be protected. Dependent children are protected up to the age of 18. And then physically or mentally disabled children are covered for the span of their life. Some consider this like an insurance, but unlike insurance, the price does not go up when you add people to your plan. And so would you prefer to pay hourly for an attorney? Of course not. It's the reason why we were avoiding attorneys for so long. Again, I'm in New York. $250 is a joke. $300, $400, $500 an hour is the norm. In addition, now you don't even have to think about that, because now you're going to have access to law firms throughout the entire nation for only $24.95. Now, again, let's be fully transparent. That's $300 for the entire year. Some of us are paying that amount for our Netflix and our Spotify and our Hulu and Disney Plus. Is your family worth a bottle of water? Less than a bottle of water a day. Are you worth it? I know I am. It's the reason why you will never find me without this plan and this service. But I want for you to really think about what it would look like to live like the wealthiest in our nation, and know that you have unlimited consultation in the palm of your hand. And so this is one of 2 resources that LegalShield has to offer. And I added it. I partnered with the company a few years ago because this is what matters to me: giving people their voices back, making sure that people have proper representation. And so not only does LegalShield protect your household, but they'll even protect your business. If you are a business owner, if you work from home in any capacity, they even have home business supplements for an additional $12.95 to make sure that the same access that you have for your personal needs, they're going to give you that access on behalf of your business as well. It's consultation, it's that IRS audit, the contract review is all included. They even have, maybe you need even more access. If you have a small business, maybe a brick and mortar, you operate outside of your home, we even have small business plans for you as well. And so, of course, we can get you the details for that if you'd like to know more. But there's a second problem that we're really dealing with in a huge way, and that's identity theft crime. Criminals don't want our money. They want our identity, because they can do so much more with our social security number than with our bank account. For the last year and change, identity theft crime was already going up, but it spiked because people were flipped upside down. All the scams and the phone calls have increased, and they're getting access to our information because of the websites that we're using. And family, if it has a microphone and it has a camera, it is listening, it is watching. And so ID Shield is a second service that the company has to protect the whole person. There are a lot of companies that claim identity theft protection, but we cover you from beginning to end. What that means is it's privacy management, it's alerts, it's monitoring, but it's even restoration on top of all of that. And so ID Shield is going to look out for your information being bought and sold on the dark web. It's going to keep an eye on your social security number, your passport information, your driver's license, even your social media accounts. which is extremely powerful. We've all dealt with some capacity of somebody's account being hacked and you're getting a weird message and you don't know what to do. And so you get to decide what information you want for ID Shield to monitor. And of course, we monitor the financial accounts as well. The buy here, pay here, your financial accounts. Little did I know that even your retirement accounts are vulnerable and can be hacked. Your 401k. People say all the time, well, I don't have, subprime loans. How do you know? If someone gets access to your information and they're opening accounts and have loans in your name, you won't know until the moment where maybe it's too late to rectify it. And so that's why monitoring and alerts are so important. But ID Shield even does restoration, which means that our licensed private investigators are going to do whatever it takes, as long as it takes, to restore us back to pre-theft status. What does that look like in real time? Well, family, imagine that you get a phone call. You're out and about. You get a phone call from the fire department. They say, hi, whomever you are, we just wanted to call and let you know that your house caught fire. And of course you're freaking out, right? And it's just the reality. These are not things that we plan for. We don't plan for emergencies. We don't plan for identity theft, crime to happen to any of us. And so in the moment that it happens, you're freaking out, but you got the phone call, you're thinking, God, you're like, oh my goodness, this is great. Thank you. What are you guys doing about it, right? Did you put it out? And they say, no, we just wanted to let you know. That's identity theft monitoring. Restoration is, hey, not only was there fire, but yes, we put it out. And yes, there's insurance that's going to cover you. And yes, we're going to make sure that you have a place to stay in the meantime. And yes, we're going to restore your house. And yes, there are going to be renovations. That's what comprehensive restoration is. And that's what ID Shield does for you and for your loved ones that are also protected under the plan it is that you have. Privacy management. With all of the smart devices that we have, you want to make sure that you know what to do when your smart TV, right, or your Alexa or your Siri, whatever, is listening and paying a little bit too much attention. And then even your reputation. ID Shield will even give you a reputation score, because we know nowadays it's not just about what you say and what you do, family. It's about what you post. The amount of people that are losing jobs, careers, because they put something up on their accounts a year ago, yesterday, 5 years ago. That's where reputation management, your reputation score comes in. Just find out if there's something that maybe you should take down that doesn't make you look too good, or maybe stuff that happened in your past that doesn't need to come up anymore. I love this portion of our plan and our service. So you get to decide, do you want to protect yourself as an individual, or do you want to protect your entire household? Again, if you have a spouse or children, they can be protected up to the age of 18, because of course, at that point, they're adults. They have to decide they want their information to be monitored, okay? And these are different plans. You decide what is best for you and your household. My job is not to fight with you and say, hey, you need to do X, Y, Z. My job is to share information and resources, and then it's your decision to make whether or not you're going to take part in what's been brought to you. Okay, so LegalShield is $24.95 always for you and for your household. To protect your entire family with LegalShield. Maybe you have a business at home and you have children that you want their information, or a spouse that you want their information to be monitored as well. $67.85. Now, again, I asked you guys earlier, think about the subscription-based services and the fun stuff it is that we have and the amount of money we're spending. Some of us can spend $67.85 one time, right? We go to get fast food or we pick something up. It's so easy for us to drop this money at the drop of a dime. But now $67.85, only $67.85 can give you access to a world that maybe you've never known that you could get access to in the past. And if you're an individual, well, guess what? For only $53.85, you can protect yourself, your business as well. But you also have the opportunity to decide, you know what, I want to start with LegalShield, or I want to start with ID Shield, or whatever may have you. But we decided that we also want for this to be budget friendly, because our desire and our goal is to put this into the hands of every person. So why not offset the price of your plan with a discount on things that you're already spending on? Member perks is also included with your membership. Okay. And what that means is maybe there is an insurance that you have that you would like to get a discount on, or a phone bill, or your groceries. You guys can see it on the screen. It says education and jewelry and tickets and entertainment, real estate. What LegalShield has done is partnered with over 100 companies so that we can help our members save $20, $50, $100 a month on things that they're already spending on. Maybe you're familiar with some of the companies you see on the screen, or maybe there are other companies that you want to see that if we have available to you. Well, guess what? This again is included with your plan. The desire is that we're putting more money into your pocket than you're spending, because everyone deserves to have access to their rights. And so I'm so grateful. I'm honored that I had the pleasure, the privilege of sharing this information with you, because again, my desire and what I've been doing for the last few years is just keeping an eye out for companies, resources that whose mission lines up with mine. And I want to provide my community with any and everything that would take us to the next level. And so thank you guys for spending a few minutes with me. I pray that the information I shared was helpful, and I so look forward to helping you and your family get protected as soon as possible. Be blessed, stay safe. Talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.